Hello and welcome to the Inside Stylist podcast, where we talk all about interiors with interviews with interior stylists, writers and the fabulous homeware brands that make a house a home. I also catch up with industry experts in the know and get them to share all their knowledge and advice. There's so much to talk about. I'm your host, Emma Morton-Turner, an interior stylist and writer with a ton of experience. I set up InsideStylist.com so I can share all that interiors love with you. So don't forget to head on over to the website for not only the show notes from today's episode, but regular interior blog posts and a whole host of inspiration on the interior stylists and writers' profiles. But for now, enjoy the show. Today's guest can fulfill a full interior design service from concept to completion with an emphasis on bespoke yet affordable home styling. As an interior designer who specialises in everything from space planning and kitchen and bathroom design to imaginative decorative schemes with custom fittings, luxurious finishes and incredible fabrics, you know your home will look fabulous when she's planned it for you. Based in Reigate, her studio covers the southeast of England from Surrey and Kent to Sussex and Essex. She's my stylish supper club partner in crime, and I'm very excited to be talking all things events and interior designing with Emma Merry.
Why, thank you. How do I live up to that introduction?
Well,
yes, blown away.
We've literally just come off the back of our very first event, so we're kind of feeling a little subdued now. It's like a little bit of a
I hope
calmness.
We've got more to give.
Yes, feel like we've been talking all day, but thank you for taking the time to do the podcast on top of everything else.
I'm very grateful to be asked.
So, have you always been an interior designer?
No.
Where did you start?
So, I started in the world of exhibitions. I used to do exhibitions for the Daily Mail group, and I used to specialise in the operations side of things, so the logistics. The last exhibition I did was in Abu Dhabi, and it was 7 halls of the Adnex Centre.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was 4 months pregnant. and after that, we built all the stands, we made everything happen. We built these beautiful feature areas, complete with sort of cafes and shops and interactive spaces. And then after 3 days, it all got skipped and taken away. Yeah. And that's when I sat down, and I remember the moment, I sat down with a coffee and I said to a colleague of mine, I'm like, do you not feel unfulfilled? Probably because I was pregnant and all hormonal. But I was like, I just feel like we've done all this work. 18 months of our life has gone into something, and now it's all just going to be scrapped. Yeah. No one's going to see the value in it. So you want to go over onto the retail side where you actually, are doing things for people that are going to get some sort of love out of it. So then I thought, right, okay, I will try my luck at a little bit of interior design. So I did a few friends and families, bathrooms and things. And it just grew from there. I used to work for a bathroom company part-time, do a bit of their PR. I used to help out with some of their spaces and style up their events and things. And the two just merged together. And here I am, 3 years later, with my own studio. I tend to specialise in kitchens and bathrooms. Because they last the longest. Purely that.
Yeah, you've gone from like 4 days
exactly,
to 40 years.
Yeah, and I found on my journey that people only tend to do one kitchen in their lifetime, which is quite a big thing, probably 3 or 4 bathrooms along the way, but not many people will do a new kitchen. It tends to be when they get to their 40s and they're sort of at that point, we're like, oh, we're 40 now, we can have a new kitchen. Whereas bathrooms you do along the way. So that's how I sort of landed in this role, and I feel very lucky to be doing it.
What's your favourite thing to work on then? Because you do bathrooms and kitchens, but you do other things as well. You do other rooms.
Yeah, I do like a whole house project. Yeah. I do quite like things that have a 3 sort of step process. So I do quick turnaround projects where I do complete house designs, and then the clients, I call them able clients, so they could go off and they're quite happy if you send them, a document with all the links on the products. Yeah. They like to click and order it. Once it all arrives, they unpack all the boxes and sort that all out. They might want a painter or a decorator. I love doing those projects because it's quick and you can get down and dirty with all the colour and textures, and then it's out of your mind. Yeah. And I try to do 1 or 2 full house projects a year, so I have a kitchen and a bathroom. Again, for reasons I like those projects is because you get to see it through to completion and you actually remember what it used to look like. They have this huge extension, you go back and it's a finished kitchen, and they invite you around for drinks or whatever, and you're like, oh, I made this. So that's really satisfying. And then I do a few sort of mood boards and things for clients that don't quite have the budget, and they're the people I enjoy working with as well, because I think they wouldn't get to this point without my help. Yeah. And I think it's a really nice service to give. It's a bit of a feel-good thing. So Yes.
It's quite interesting what some of the designers were talking about today at the event. I should just say we're at Hello Darling, which is where we've had our first brunch event, and we just had a room full of 20-odd stylists and designers. And they were talking about how long it takes to do a design project, and nearly every stylist came up to me afterwards and went, yeah, I couldn't do something that took that long. We like that quick turnover.
Exactly.
That if you're doing a room shoot or a real person's home, it's like from start to finish, it might be 2-3 months, but it's like over really quickly, and you move on to the next one.
And I think that's the difference for interior designers. We are like detail people. We're control freaks, basically. We can't handle anyone else being involved. We want to take it from each step. You know, we want to know what the builders are doing. We want to know, you know, when the finishes, all the product's going to be in, what finish it's going to be, and then we want to be there with our haul cart. That's not right. Move that. And then at the end, you know, once the clients put all their lovely home furniture back in, you want to go around and say, okay, no, we're going to get new furniture, or we're going to tweak this, or we do love Grandma's vase, but how about we put it in a different room? Yeah. Again, I think I'm always quite conscious that they're going to have to live in it. I'm not going to live there.
Yeah,
so
you leave it.
Exactly. I've got like an 80-20 rule. I give them, you know, I have 80% of the control in terms of the aesthetic and 20% of their stuff, which I think makes it a home, and I think that tends to work quite well.
It has to be theirs at
and
the
they
end
have
of
to
the
be
day,
comfortable.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what does a typical day look like then? I think you're so organised. You're one of the most organised people I've ever. That's my ulterior motive. You're in a good way. Yeah. Is there a good way? There is.
No, I do like. Yeah, I have the hair.
No, we're not even going there. My hair is up because of how frizzy it looked in there. We when we left for the event this morning, I don't know what it was like where you are, but it was really sunny. It was a bit cloudy and it looked like it was going to rain. By the time the guests arrived, it was full pelting it down, and my hair just went. So it's all been tied back and tried to tame, but
so I try and split my week. Again, this is a honed down process, because obviously the first year or so I was doing interior design, I was just literally, my husband used to say I was like a bee at a window. I was like flying into all these things, and then I was getting so stressed out at the end of the week, and I thought, right, rewind, how do you want to work? I have 2 children, and my husband works away a lot, so I am the sole carer, so to speak. He hates it when I say that, but I'm the sole carer. So I have to be there for them, and I want to be there for them and present and doing homework and stuff. So I tend to make 2 days a week my London days, I call them, and those are the days where I book in for events, or I book in to see clients, collect samples if they're London bound. They tend to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Mondays is a clear up day where I just do all the emails and, you know, get a little bit of marketing done, do a bit of social media stuff. Wednesday and Friday I turn off my phone, I turn off my email, and
I know this now.
Turn off my social media. Obviously I check it in the morning, and then before I go to school run I check it, but when I'm in design mode I'm in my head. And for years, I was like, no, I've got to be on email. And then I had a word with myself. I was like, what the hell is going to happen if you don't answer an email after 3 hours? Nothing. I don't work in A&E. No one's going to die. You know, I don't work in a multinational bank. No one's going to lose any money. But you need to get your designs. You need to be in the zone. And since I've started doing that, my productivity has gone through the roof.
I say that emails is other people's time agendas put on you. So if you aren't opening it, then I did the same thing. I did a podcast about kind of overcoming your email. Exactly the same. I was completely overwhelmed, and I can't remember what it's called now. There's a an app I put on. I'll put it in the show notes because I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But you've probably seen it.
Really?
I pause my email. So I can still send emails. I can still look, because quite often things I need to look up.
Yours is email related, isn't it? Yeah.
But I don't want to be looking and checking and seeing what every press release that comes through is. So I pause it so nothing new comes in.
Yes.
And it's a massive game changer.
That's really interesting, because it does interrupt your flow. And as a creative person, you know, I think about when I do a design, this probably sounds a bit naff, but like flowing water. And once I start, and you start the water to flow, and you start creating in the creative world, and you know, you're sort of bobbing in and out of different finishes and things, like, oh, actually I've got a sample of that. I'm in the zone, and someone emailing me about
something completely
a tax return or you know, something really naff then takes me out of that area, and it takes me an hour to get back into it. So my time is as precious as their time, and that's what I've come to appreciate now. So that's what I tend to do on those days. Don't do any social media on a Wednesday. Emma laughs at me.
I know, but I didn't even notice. I just was like, oh, Emma's on social all the time, every day. She's posting every day. How does she do that? And actually, You don't post on Wednesdays, and I didn't even notice.
No, exactly. So Wednesday is my Insta day off. I just need a day off from it. I can't deal with it. I find Saturdays really good, so I tend to sort out some content for a Saturday. But 9 times out of 10, it's me sitting in my dressing gown with my cup of tea, thinking, "Oh, what should I talk about?" Offload and go from there.
So when you do post on Instagram, do you plan ahead?
No, and lots of people have said to me, "Oh, get this app, get that funky." I'm a techno dinosaur. I still use PowerPoint for all my presentations and things. I know some of you out there do, and some of you will laugh at me. But I really struggle with Instagram because I don't get the whole algorithm thing and when to post and
do that.
Yeah, and I was tearing myself up about it last year, and this year I'm just like, who cares? It's not, it's not the end of the world if you miss a day. And now I just do what feels right and go
you
from
can
there.
Enjoy it then, can't you?
I am.
It's a social platform.
I'm having so much more fun now. I'm like reaching out to different people and, creating different conversations, and actually more people are getting involved in conversations because it's actually relevant. Like when I was talking about Clerkenwell, I was saying, it wasn't that great this year, and don't get me wrong, there were good bits, but it wasn't as good as it has been. If I'd have planned that 2 weeks ago, what would I have said? I couldn't have talked about the best bits and stuff. So, yeah. And I don't believe in just filler posts. I think they'll just bore off. I'll scroll past those. So.
I know, this morning I thought, so I run MRMT Stylists and I run Inside Stylists. So I did Inside Stylists.
How you do that?
Well, I don't do MRMT very often, but this morning I put a picture on of my cat. And I was like, I should so be talking about the event. And I was like, no, actually, I've had this picture ready. I love it's not my cat, it's my daughter's cat. And oh my God, it went flying through the roof. And actually at the West Elm event, Sophie Robinson was saying how she was told you're not supposed to put pictures of like your pets on, and
kids,
I was like,
holidays, all that sort of stuff.
My pets get more likes than me.
But as a creative, that's what inspires me. When I go away and I go to Portugal and I see their beautiful tile-clad houses, or when I'm in Spain and I see again.
Yeah, that's still interiors, that counts.
I know, but that probably shows that it's my passion because that's all I sort of take pictures. Or I'm at the beach and I sort of see that sort of stuff. I think. That's all worth sharing, yeah. And if you don't like it, the other thing I've learned... Scroll off.
So, I was going to ask you how you plan your time with so many... I understand how you've said you plan your week, but you have quite a lot of different... Your fingers are in lots of different pies. So obviously, we're doing these events, you've got projects on the go, there's other things you're planning. How do you... I've seen how you work, and I don't understand how you work, if you know what I mean. I see how productive you are, and it's like it's a little bit more clear now knowing that you turn your phone and everything off.
Yeah,
I think that's genius. Like pausing it is one thing, turning it all. Yeah, but the thing is, then you know that, and you just wait later. But how do you balance it, or do you work a little bit on every project every day, or do you go
basically, in my head, I have the metaphorical plates. So I tend to have a little bit of PR, a little bit of events, and that is the reason I do events. I've started these events with Emma is purely for the personal connection, because I really struggle. I need to say 20,000 words a day, and I can't do that working in office on my own. So that's why I do Instagram stories. Lots of people say to me, how do you do them? And because I don't have anyone to talk to in my office, and I feel like if I click on, I could talk to you guys, and it's valuable, then that's what I do. So yes, I get the metaphorical plate spinning, and I try and do a little bit of everything. And once I've put it out there, I think, right, that one's spinning. So I've done the PR and marketing, sent off all my latest projects, that one's spinning. And I think, right, okay, what else do I need to do? Okay, it's all my own needs, basically. I'm very selfish. I need to talk to people. So how do I fulfill that need? I need to be creative. How do I fill that need? What I'm not very good at is the whole self-promotion in terms of, saying, oh, this is amazing. And I think that's why I struggle with the Instagram thing. But I'm working on that. So, yeah, I think get all the plates spinning, and I just touch base with them on certain days, and I'm working at that. But I do have the busy brain syndrome. I do suffer with that. I really struggle on the weekend to, switch off. We're trying to sell our house at the moment, and that's not helping because I'm used to switch off by decorating or... fannying around with shelves and all that sort of stuff. But now I don't have that, so I'm a little bit like, what do I do? This weather's not helping either, because usually I could get out in the garden. But, yeah.
No, it's a real shame. I really wanted to be in the garden. I want to have a barbecue this weekend. It has not... Right now, where we're recording, it's June, and it has rained all week. All week, it's tipping it down.
So yeah, get the plates spinning, and then just touch in with those. And each year, in January, I have a cosy day where I sit down and I just basically write anything and everything I'd like to do, and then over the next week or so I figure out how that's going to happen. And I used to be rigid with it and be like, oh, why haven't I got this and why haven't I got that, and really beat myself up. But this year I've been a little bit more open and just put it out to the universe. Like, this is where I want to go, and no word of a lie, 5 out of my 10 have happened.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a bit
and we're
scary.
halfway through the year, so this is perfect timing.
I know, so I feel very grateful for that.
No, that's amazing. So let's talk about the Stylish Supper Club.
Oh, let's.
So people keep asking how we know each other. And
really?
I can't remember when we first met.
No.
I remember being at events that you were at and talking to you, but I don't remember.
I think we used to chat on Instagram like you do, just like, oh, you're at this event, or
Yeah.
I love your dress, or I love your shoes, or just general swapping. And then we kept saying, must do coffee. I don't know about you, but I've got a list on my phone of the people that I keep meaning to do coffee with. I'm like, never.
Just you.
No, lots of sort of like
Yeah.
other designers
Yeah,
things that
yeah.
must do coffee or must meet up. But again, you can't go to all these events because you've got work to do, you know.
We're both saying we never come into London for just one thing. There has to be more than one
if
thing.
you're listing PRs, 2 things in one day, definitely. So we just met, and then we both have a mutual love for chatting. I think we're both people,
Definitely
whatever the word is.
people.
People. And I actually learnt a lot from Emma in our early conversations, and subsequently, about the way stylists work. Because personally, I was under the impression that, oh, you only need a stylist if you're doing like a big magazine shoot. They wouldn't come and, help me shoot a kitchen or help me shoot a bathroom. And, that's their main role. And, I was wrong. They are bloody amazing. If you're an interior designer and you've got any project, get yourself a stylist, because they will make it pop and take all that, aggravation off of your plate. Get yourself a stylist.
That's probably the most interesting thing, is because in conversations we've had leading up to this, is that in my head, I think I know what an interior designer does, and probably vice versa. Yeah. But actually, from what I've gathered, is that people are taught to make, like interior designers are taught to make rooms look beautiful, and they style they do the space.
Yeah,
they're not styling the room, and what stylists do is make a shot look great.
Exactly,
and it's knowing how to do that. And it's not something, if you stand in a room and look at it and rearrange your shelf, that isn't styling. And it's also knowing what to do to make that look right.
And that's it. And the thing I've learnt from sort of Emma and stylists is the whole distance of products. Like, I was like, oh, no, you can't group things like that. It doesn't look right. You have to. And I was saying that. And then Emma was saying, no, exactly, depth of field. You need to move those jars apart. I'm like, yeah, but they don't look right. She's like, in the camera, they all look perfect. And I was like, okay, begrudgingly, I listened. I was like, she bloody knows her stuff. It's worked. It looks amazing.
But you know what? It's really interesting, because you don't realise you know that stuff. You just think, it's just
Same
what
with
I do.
me. When
but
people say about colours.
Yeah.
You just know what you know. And I think that's the other thing we're talking about today, is valuing your knowledge. Just because our industries, interior designers and stylists, are not tangible. We're not giving someone a physical painting or a physical piece of furniture, doesn't mean that it's not valuable. It is valuable, because it's taken you a long time to get that knowledge, and it should be paid for. So
the event was basically started, we felt we wanted to put people together and build a community, kind of like Inside Stylists has become a very close-knit community of stylists who support each other, and we were kind of just looking at merging the two industries together and helping each other, and like stylists need designers to find houses to shoot, they need designers need stylists to style them, and it was that kind of coming together. But we just tried to make it so that it was valuable to everyone. We brought samples in for people to find. We tried very hard to make sure they weren't regular people who
brands,
people who stylists might have heard of, and same with designers, obviously, which I think we did really well, because we had a sample bar and it's depleted, isn't it?
That's it. And I think a lot of people sort of thought, I never would have thought of that. That's interesting.
But actually, did you see, we had some cushions from Perkins and Morley, and when we said, the cushions, we did a little chat, a run through of who the brands were, and I said, and the cushions, they're samples, you can take them home. Everyone just looked at the cushion and went, oh,
amazing. And then they were like, can I take 2? I'm like,
and then there was carpets and wallpaper, so just loads of different things, so that worked really well.
And I think the concept, again, from my perspective, and probably Emma's as well, was purely selfish. We were like, what do we want when we go to an event?
Exactly.
What do we want to know? We want to be able to talk to people in real life, want to walk away learning something. We want to be fed. We are people. We want to be fed. So we had an amazing brunch by our lovely chef, Natalie Coleman.
She won MasterChef in 2013. I cannot tell you how lovely she is. And then the venue, Hello Darling. We came, was it 3 weeks ago? We came to view this place 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, after Easter, I think.
With this, like looking for a venue for this. And we were shown around, and you go upstairs and it's owned by set designers from theatre who have just painted it, and it looked great. But they've done so much since then.
I haven't seen it yet, so I need to go up and have a snoop. Yes,
it's brilliant. It's just painted, and they've made their own wallpapers, and it's just and we took everyone had a tour of the space, and it was so cool. And I knew people would like it, but I didn't expect people to rave about it as much as they did. So
and everybody wants to come back. So when we do the next one, which will be in November, and we'll obviously can send out the details of that one. People can come back and have a look, because it would have evolved even further.
Yeah,
which I think is a lovely thing with here. It's not. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, and Elise, who is one of the owners, she's saying it's just going to be a moving feast. They're always going to be changing it. And I'm like, I can't wait to see what she does next. It's so creative.
I've never known a restaurant owner to design their own wallpaper. I mean, come on. So let us know if you want some of that, because it is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I'll get a picture and put it on the show notes, because that's really good. What else do we need to talk about? I think I've covered all of that. We've got up and coming events, actually, haven't we? We've got September the 10th, we've got an event booked in, which is a supper club, which is going to be kind of what we've done here, but a whole lot bigger.
And that's going to be in Wigmore Street.
Yeah.
At Halcyon Kitchens.
Yeah, it's fabulous. And it's
just a beautiful venue.
It's so different from this place as well.
Yeah.
It's like so sleek and modern and clean lines, whereas this is really kind of vintage.
And it's just behind Selfridges, so say no more. And then the next brunch club will be on the 12th of November. Again, similar format to today. We find that's quite a good time for people who've got school run and all that sort of good stuff. And then we've got workshops next year, but we will divulge those at another time.
Yes, that's to come. Yeah. So, what's next for you?
Oh, God.
I know what's next for us. What's next for you?
Got lots of bits and pieces. I've got a rental house that I'm working on. I've got a refresh that I'm working on. I've got a kitchen.
What's a refresh, as in refreshing the design?
Refreshing a whole house. So someone that's just lived there for 5 or 6 years, and they're like, oh, we bought that from our old place, we want to paint this room. And again, they don't really know where to go with it, so they want all the mood boards and the designs and stuff, a little bit of cabinetry building and stuff, which is quite good. Kitchen I'm working on. I would really love to do a house in Mallorca. So if you are sitting there and you have a house,
if you need some help,
I will do it in a second.
Event in Mallorca.
Oh, it's like my heart's home, so to speak. I mean, I'm going out in a couple of weeks for a long weekend. I've been going for 10, 15 years. I just feel at home there. I think it's because of all the ceramics. It's just, and get up and tactile. So yes, but I think it'll be a nightmare working with Spanish trades. I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I think trying to do a whole house would just be a nightmare. But the accessible products that you get, I mean, every time I go over there, I'm like, oh, can you get this back to the UK? And I'm like, no, not possible.
No.
That's the answer. So yeah, I think that's my aim.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you.
We've had a really great day.
We had such fun.
I've loved it. The event was fantastic, and it's been really fun working with you.
Oh,
You're very inspiring. Your organisational skills, I hope, are rubbing off. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Inside Stylist podcast. You'll find all the details from today's show over on the show notes at insidestylist.com. If you enjoy the show, I'd love it if you would head on over to iTunes and rate and review it. It's the best way to help other people find the show, and I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, bye for now.